Creating an online shop is a powerful way of selling your products online. The challenge is sometimes the design can be a bit tricky to design. So when you first install WooCommerce, it's going to look a bit like this. So this is what shows when you create your shop page. As you can see, it's not really well designed and this wouldn't really convert very well. Now, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to turn this design here into this. So I'm sure you can see that this is totally much better. And when we scroll through this, I'll show you how to add your latest offers. I'll even show you how to customize all these colors here to match your brand. And then further down here, we also have a section here for your latest products. And then further down, we also have a section here with a video, but of course you can add whatever you want. It could be an image. And then here we have an email opt-in. I also show you how to add this background image as a design element. So as you can see, this is a really simple but powerful design. Now, before we get started, I'd like to remind you that if you buy Divi using my affiliate link, you will get access to my advanced web design course, a course that teaches you how to design professional looking websites with Divi. All you have to do after you've purchased this is to send me an email to mac@funnelstoincome.com and then just send me the receipt number and I will give you access to the full course. All right, guys, without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let's get started. All right, so the most important thing that you need to have ahead of time is all your products. So if I come over here to all products, you're going to see that I've added all my products here already, and I've got quite a few of them here. Next, you also want to have some categories because on our shop page, we can also create some categories where our products will show. For example, we can have, let's say, a latest category. We can also have our products which are on offer and so on. So creating these categories is very important. Now let's go in and let me show you how you can create all these categories and also how you can add your products. Okay, so for your categories, I've clicked here on categories. You can add your new category here. So I'm going to say upcoming. And this can also go in as my slug, like that. And that's all I need to do. And then next I can add a new category. And now you can see it's added over here. Now let's add a brand new product. So I'm going to come over here to all products, click on add new. So I'm going to start off by entering my product description here. Next, I'm going to add my product name. Over here now, I can choose my category. So I'm going to go here with, say, latest. And then scroll further down and add my product image. So for this, I'm going to add this Rolex, set my image, give it a price. And finally, I need to add a short description here. I'm just going to paste it. And that is how you add a product. Finally, you just need to publish it like that. And we're good to go. Next, I want to show you what the shop page looks like right now before we can go in and start designing it. So this is what our shop is going to look like. But as you can see, this is, very basic. We want our page to really look very cool. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come back over here to my dashboard. So in most cases, what you want to do is to create your homepage as your main shop page. So this is what we're going to do today. So I'm going to come over here to pages, click on all pages, and I'm going to go into my homepage here and click on edit. I'm going to edit with the Divi builder. Okay, so now that we're on this page, the next thing we need to do is to add a new section. So I'm going to click on this plus button, but the section I need to add is a full width section. So I'm going to choose a full width header, and let's start working on our main header here. So this is where my title goes. So I'm going to paste it in here. For my button here, I'm going to say start shopping, or see offers, or, get started, or whatever it is. But if you prefer not to have a call to action button, you can just remove the text altogether. And now you're left with just main text. Okay, now I'm going to add my description here. Again, I'm just going to highlight this and paste my description like that. Next, I am going to now start working on my background. So for my background, I'm going to click here. And first of all, I need to get rid of this color. Next, I'm going to come over here to the third tab, click on this plus button, and I'm now going to choose an image that's going to represent my shop. So I have two images here I'm going to play around with and see which one I prefer the most. So I'm going to click here on upload an image. So now our image is set. So next I'm going to come over here to my design, click on layout, and I'm going to center everything here and also make this full screen. So I really would like this to be full screen. But as you can see, my text here is quite difficult to read on this background. So we need to do a bit of work here on our background. So back over here on my content, I'm going to go to background and we are going to add a solid color here. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my color and then click here on my image tab. And then I'm going to scroll all the way down to my blend mode and change this to multiply. So what you're going to notice now is my image has gone really dark. Now, this is a bit too much for my liking. So I'm going to come back over here to my main image or my main color. And then I'm just going to lower the opacity a bit so I can reveal a bit of this image. So I think that looks really nice. So now it's time to customize my main text here for my shop. So I'm going to click on this icon here. So let's change our font to Poppins. I'm going to make it all caps. Now let's go to the paragraph text. Change this to Poppins. Let's increase the size. There we go. So I'm going to go with say 20. And I'm also going to adjust my line height like that. Now this text here, let's see what else we can do. So I'm just going to play around with my settings here and let's add a bit of line spacing. Okay, so I'm going to try that and let's go to ultra light. No, I don't think that works. So let's stick with light. All right, so that's what I'm going to have here for my main title. So let's see if I can increase the size and see what works better here. So you just have to experiment here and play around with this until you are happy with how it looks. I may also want to go with a different look, maybe make this bold and make the text bigger. Maybe that would work. You know what? Anyway, let's go with this. So let me make sure that all my other screens are looking okay. So here, let me increase my line height like that. Maybe even to 1.3. Let's check the mobile. So the mobile here doesn't look great. So I need to reduce the size here to about say 26. And that looks much better. Okay. So back over here to my main view. So I'm going to go with the bold here and just my normal description here on the bottom. Okay. So that's my first image. So what you could do is if you have a few images that you want to play around with and see which one works better, this is where you can go here and let's choose another one. So I know I have another one here of these two ladies sitting on top of a car. And you know what? I actually prefer this. So I'm going to keep this on. So now we're going to hit save. So that's our main hero image. I'm just going to drag this to the top. So this becomes the first thing we see when we land on our website. Okay, so now let's work on this bottom area. This is where we're going to have our products. So I'm going to first click here on add new, and I'm going to add my first row here. So what I'm going to add here is what I'm going to add here are my products. So I'm just going to search for my shop module, and here it is. Okay, so now that I have my shop module, I'm going to do a lot of design to this, and then I'm just going to duplicate it and have it for my other products. So let's go ahead and start working on this. So first of all, I need to add some rounded corners to this image. So I'm going to go ahead and add about 5. Okay, just to clean it up a little bit. Next, I am going to come over here and change my font to Poppins and also my color. Let's change the color a little bit, increase the size to 18. In fact, you know what? Maybe 16 is good. Next, let me work on my pricing. And again, I'm going to change my font here to Poppins. And let's make this bold. And let's change the color as well. Okay, so far so good. I've just gone in and quickly made these few changes. So what I'm going to do next now is to save this, and I'm going to decide now how this page is going to look. So far I have all my products here in this area, so I can also go in and add a background to this row. So I'm going to add my color here, and then I'm going to go to design, the spacing, and give this a bit of spacing. So let's go with 4 VW, and this is going to be pretty much all around. Okay. Next, I'm going to add my border radius. So let's set this to 5. Great. So now I have this design here on my main landing page. The next thing I'm going to do now is to decide what, oh, in fact, you know what? I haven't added my overlay here. So I can go in and change my overlay by coming over here to design, overlay, and my overlay background color here is going to be this color, but I'm going to add some transparency to this. Okay, so I think that's much better now. Let's go ahead and save. Okay, so remember I mentioned that we're going to design this once and then we're going to duplicate it once we have all the information that we need. So our product count here is going to be 4, and I'm also going to have 4 columns. Okay, so I just want to show 4. So I can now decide what I'm going to have here. So if I click on this drop down, you can see my featured products, sale products. We also have latest products and so on. Now, this is where those categories that we created come in. So I'm going to click here on sale products. So far I have these 3. So let's do a few customizations here. So I'm going to go in and customize this cell badge and give this same font pop-ins. And I'm also going to reduce the size of that text. It's a bit too much. We don't really need that to be that big. And the cell text color is going to be that. In fact, you know what? It's fine as white, but the background color is going to be this. So that really stands out really nice. Okay, so I'm really happy with that. I'm now going to save changes. So I can now give this a heading on the top here to say this is my sale product. So I'm going to click on this plus button and add a text module. And I'm going to say on sale or latest offer. Okay, so now I need to customize this by coming over here, going into text, changing this to pop-ins. And now let's give this a color. Okay, I'm going to go with this, all caps. And we need to increase the size a little bit here. And I'm going to add some letter spacing. Okay, I think that looks okay. And let's see what it looks like when I go semi-bold. Okay, I'm going to go with semi-bold. All right, so now that I have this, I'm going to drag this over to the top like that. So this is my latest offers. So that's looking great. I really like that. In fact, I may reduce this to about 2 VW. Okay, so now that I have this as my latest offer here on the top, I'm going to duplicate this a few times so that I can add other products. So over here, I'm going to go into my row settings. I'm going to come to design, spacing, and add a little bit of margin here. So let's go with 20. Right, so now that I have that, I'm going to save this. I'm now going to go into my shop module, but this time I'm not going to select the sale products. I'm going to go to the latest products. Okay, so now these are my latest products. So I'm going to save this, but this time I'm going to just give this a different background color. So I'm going to go to my row settings, go to background, and I'm going to play around with my colors here. So I may leave this bright color here. I think it looks kind of nice, but let's see. Maybe this is a bit too much. So I'm going to go in now and play around with some of these colors that are generated here for me. Okay, I think I'm going to go with this. Right, so I'm going to save, come back over here, and I'm going to change this to latest products, change the color. So the color here can be white or even darker. Okay, I think I'm going to go with that and save. Now, do you notice that I have all these areas here where I can have all my products? So let's add one more. So I'm going to duplicate this. And this one here, I'm not sure what this is going to be. So let's go in and change from latest products to product category. And these are all my categories here. So you can see there's upcoming, there's offers, there's all these different categories. So if you have any products in any of these categories, you can just use this and this is going to work out really well. So I know I have offers. This is going to be the same as what I have here on the top. But the most important thing is when you take a look at this, we can add categories. We can also add the latest. We can also show upcoming. So we can show quite a lot here in this section. So I'm going to close out of here and delete this because we don't really need this. Now to make this look even much better, we are going to need an opt-in. So let's go ahead and add that. So I'm going to click on this plus button and this is going to be a regular section, we're going to add a single column here. And in here, we're going to add an email opt-in. Select that. Now, before I can go in and start customizing my email opt-in, I'm just going to save this and first add my background. So I'm going to come over here and add my background. So let's start with my image here. So the image I am going to use is, let's use the same one, but the style is going to be different. So I'm going to click upload. So now we have this beautiful image here in the background, but we are now going to add white, or we're going to have this color here. And then back, we're going to choose lighten. Okay, so it's not really showing our image here. So for the image to show, I would need to come here and add a bit of transparency like that. Okay, so that's looking great now. I'm really happy with that. Now we can go in and start working on our email opt-in. So let's just give this a bit of padding. So let's give this 100 and let's do the same to the bottom. Great. Now let's work on our email opt-in. So for my email opt-in, I'm going to click here on this gear icon. So the first thing I'm going to do is to go to my background and remove that background. Next, I'm now going to start working on this area here. So first things first, I'm going to come over here to design, layout, and I am going to make sure that my form is going to be on the bottom and my text is going to be on the top. Next, for my last name here, I don't really need to have my last name, so I'm going to remove that. And I think I'm going to have these side by side. And back over here on the content, I can go to my fields and disable what I don't need. So I want to remove the last name. In fact, even the first name. Okay, so back over here now on the fields, I can now make changes to this and make it look the way I want. But before I do that, let me just make sure that my email here is full width. Okay, so with this all set now, I'm now going to start adding color to this. So I'm going to start off with my button and I'm going to activate use custom styles for button and give this button a color. So let's go with white. And then for my button background color, I'm going to add this bright color here. And I'm going to add that as the border as well. And then next, I'm going to come over here to the font, change this to Poppins. Okay. And now it's time to work on. The fields. So for the fields, I think I am going to just have a border here around this. So we're going to remove the fields background color. The fields text color is going to be, okay, let's go with that. And now let's add our border. So I'm going to scroll all the way down here until I find my borders. And this is where they are. So let's add about 2 pixels. Choose my border color. Okay, so that's looking great. Next, I'm going to come over here now and customize my text. So I'm going to change my font from default to Poppins. And then I'm going to come over here, change this as well. Increase the size to about 16. And let's give this some line height so it's much easier to read. Okay, so far this is looking great, but ideally I would like to have a background over here. So I'm going to go back to my content and go to background. Okay, so over here you can see I removed the background completely. So let's play around with some colors here and see what works better. So I have this color here. Let's go in and add a bit of transparency so we can show a bit of what's happening in the background. Back on the design, let's add some rounded corners. So I'm going to go to border, set this to 5. Okay. Now this is optional. If you don't want to have this background, you can totally get rid of it and not even add it at all. But I'll just prefer adding this. So another color that you can play around with here is white. So I've just added my white there. And I can also add some transparency to that. So this could be an option that you may want to go with. In fact, you know what? Let me try white. Okay. Now let me go in and customize the text that I've just added here. So I'm going to add my description text. I'm going to add my title. And ideally, I'd like this all centered. So I'm going to come over here to my text and center everything. Now text here is quite hard to read because it is on a white background. So let's change my color. So for the text now, I'm going to come over here and change my colors to that. also go into my description and change it to that as well. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that now. The next step is to just reduce the size because it's a bit too wide. So I'm going to go now to sizing. Select sizing, reduce my width to about 70%. I'm going to center it, and I think this looks much better now. I'm going to save that. So now we have our email opt-in area. So let's just balance this image. So I'm going to go back in here and add my padding. So I'm going to go to spacing. So let's try 7 VW. So I can see the heads are cut off here. So I would like to fix that. So let me go back and go to the image. And instead of having it center, I'm going to say top center. That is much better now. Save that. Nope, that's not working because their heads now are hiding behind this. Right, so again, this is something that you need to go in and play around with. So I guess I have to change my image here to the biker. Let me see how this one looks. This one is even worse because most of this area here is covered. Okay, let's try and center left. Well, that doesn't make a change. So let's just increase. Let's increase this a little bit to about 10. We're going to save that. Now let's take a look at our page. So I'm going to hit Exit Visual Builder, save and exit. All right, so let's take a look at our design now. So we have our latest offers here. We have our latest products. And we have our email opt-in. Now, right now, my email opt-in is not showing. It's because it's not connected. So let's go back in and let me show you how you can connect this to your email service provider. Okay, so to connect it, you want to go into the settings and scroll all the way down here to email account. So there's several options here. We have MailChimp, and if we click on this drop down, we have all these options. So I'm going to go with Fluent CRM, and I know I haven't got it set up here, but if you have it set up, this is where you would add it and just choose your account name. So let's say my account name is Mac. I'll just go in and do that. Okay, so once we've added it, now while we're here, I need to also go to my layout. I need to go to my sizing and see what happens if I align this to the right, if it makes any difference in showing more information over here to the left. So I'm going to save that. And finally, what I'm going to add here is a video just to support what we have here on the opt-in. So I'm going to search for my video, and by default, we get this Divi video here, but we can also add our own. So what I'm interested in here is to add an overlay. So I'm going to add my image overlay, and my image overlay is going to be this one here. Upload an image. Okay, so the icon looks okay. So let's save this. Now, when I take a look at this, if you recall, I went in and I repositioned this. I just need to go back in and remove that. So I'm going to come back to my layout. No, in fact, I need to go to my sizing and just bring this back to 80%, center it, and then save. All right, so we can see here that things don't look really cool. So I'm going to go into my settings here, design, sizing, and activate my gutter width. And I'm going to bring this down all the way to 1. I'm going to save that. So that looks much better. I just need to add a bit of text here on the top. So I'm going to click on this plus button, add my text module, and let's just give this a title. I'm going to paste it in here. Go to my design text, change this to pop-ins, all caps, increase the size a little bit, change my color, and pretty much that's all I need to do. I'm going to drag this now to the top of the video. And then over here, I'm going to add a bit of padding, or we can add a margin to the bottom just so that there's a bit of breathing space there. All right, so that is my final design now. I'm going to save this and exit the Visual Builder. All right, so when I scroll through this, here we have our special latest offers. We have our latest products. And then finally here we have our video here, and this is where our email opt-in would come. But like I said, this does not show at the moment because I haven't connected this to my email service provider. All right, guys, that's all I have for you in today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell notification. By doing so, you'll be notified when I release new tutorials. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.